Have you ever felt it? That quiet, gnawing weight in your chest when someone judges you? Not directly, but in that subtle way that unsettles your mind. When a glance, a word, a gesture makes you question yourself. And yet, there's no clear battlefield, no obvious fight, just a slow erosion of certainty. That's where most of us fail. Not in battle, not in argument, but in silence. Because silence is terrifying. And that's exactly why the most powerful people in history wielded it like a weapon. Plato once said, "Wise men speak because they have something to say, fools because they have to say something." But what Plato didn't tell you is that silence is not absence. It's a force, a presence, a kind of power that doesn't demand attention. It commands it. Today, I want to show you something uncomfortable, something almost no one will admit. Silence is the most dangerous form of resistance. And if you learn to use it, you don't just survive conflict, you change the rules of it entirely. Picture this. You're in a room. Someone makes a subtle remark about you, not loud, not obvious. A small jab disguised as humor, a comment disguised as curiosity. Most people respond without thinking. They explain, they justify, they defend. And in that instant, they lose. Because defending yourself isn't strength. It's admission. It's saying, I have to prove I am right. And when you prove something, you place the power in the hands of the one who questioned you. Niccolò Machiavelli knew this. He wrote not just about war and politics, but about human psychology. He said, the first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him. But there's a hidden truth. The first method for understanding power is to notice how someone responds to accusation. Those who defend themselves constantly are trapped. They're reactive. They're playing on someone else's terms. The strongest do not enter the battle of words. They control the battlefield itself by not entering it. Why is silence so unnerving? Because it forces others to fill the gap. When you stay quiet, the accuser must decide what to do next. They can escalate, retreat, or, most dangerously for them, doubt themselves. Let's imagine it. Someone whispers that you are arrogant, manipulative, unworthy. The average response, a defense, a refutation, an explanation. But what happens if you simply stay silent? They begin to speak louder. They search for justification. They attempt to draw you into the conversation. And in doing so, they reveal their own vulnerability. Nietzsche once wrote, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." Silence is a why. It's a statement without words. It tells the other person, your accusation does not matter enough to me to respond. And in that dismissal, you gain immeasurable strength. Modern psychology confirms this. Humans are wired to seek closure. When faced with an accusation, the natural instinct is to resolve it, often by speaking. But silence denies closure. It forces a cognitive discomfort that the mind instinctively wants to fix. And the only way to fix it is to overcompensate. This is why silence is a kind of power play. It makes the other person carry the weight of their own words, and they almost always collapse under it. It's what philosopher Hannah Arendt called the space of appearance, the moment where a person is truly revealed. When you stop responding, you give them nothing but their own reflection, and most people can't handle their own reflection for long. Throughout history, silence has been a form of defiance. Think of Dietrich Bonhoeffer, the German theologian who opposed Nazism. His resistance wasn't always loud. Much of it was quiet, deliberate, invisible. But that silence, that refusal to accept the narrative of the oppressor, became a kind of moral force far stronger than words. Mahatma Gandhi knew this too. His famous civil disobedience was rooted in deliberate silence, not as absence, but as a way to reclaim dignity and unsettle power. Even in warfare, silence can be a weapon. The general who withholds information, the leader who refuses to explain their moves, they don't just confuse their enemies, they control them. We live in a world addicted to noise, noise of opinions, noise of explanations, noise of defense. We fear silence because silence forces truth to surface. It forces us to confront ourselves without distraction. But most people will choose noise every time. They defend their choices, explain themselves, justify their actions, and every time they do, they surrender power. Machiavelli's bitter truth still stands. The first cause of the ruin of states is the neglect of silence, because noise is weakness disguised as strength. Silence, when mastered, is strength disguised as mystery. This is not about being passive. Silence is an active choice. It's a discipline, a strategy, and it requires self-awareness. The moment you choose silence is the moment you stop reacting and start commanding. It's a choice to shift the frame, to move from being a player in someone else's game to being the one who defines the rules. In everyday life, this could mean not answering every provocation, not explaining yourself to every critic, allowing accusations to exist without reacting. It is a kind of inner resistance, a refusal to feed into the emotional drama of the world. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Silence isn't always peaceful. Silence is power, and power is feared. That means when you master silence, you will unsettle people. You will make them doubt themselves. You will disrupt their emotional control. That's why silence is not popular. Most people want quick answers, closure, comfort. But real strength lies in embracing discomfort, in holding your peace while the storm rages. Nietzsche said, "Invisible threads are the strongest ties." Silence is one of those threads, invisible but binding. Not binding others to you, but binding yourself to your own power. Imagine a world where silence became resistance, where every unjust accusation was met with stillness, where every attempt to control, provoke, or demean was met not with defense but with quiet resolve. That's not passivity, that's revolution. Because silence does something words can't. It changes the rules of engagement. It strips the other person of their stage. It makes them act out their insecurity. It forces the world to respond to you, not your defense. This is the quiet revolution that thinkers like Machiavelli, Nietzsche, Plato, Bonhoeffer, and Gandhi understood. Not by force of arms, not by endless debate, but by mastering the power of withholding. Here's the final, unsettling truth. Silence is not about the absence of power. It is the presence of a deeper power you cannot prove. And that power lies in being unknowable. Most people fear being misunderstood. They believe explanation brings clarity. But clarity is not strength. Mystery is. Silence is the language of mystery. It keeps your opponent guessing. It keeps them unsettled. It keeps you unassailable. The moment you stop defending yourself is the moment you begin to wield true power. Not the kind of power that comes from victory, but the kind of power that comes from making others doubt they could ever win against you. So, the next time someone questions you, pause. Let silence answer, not because you have nothing to say, but because you know something they will never understand. Silence is not emptiness. It is a presence, not weakness, but the ultimate strength. And in a world addicted to noise, mastering silence is the most radical act of all. If this idea spoke to you, do this. Like this video if you value the power of silence. Share it with someone who needs to hear this truth. And subscribe so we can explore deeper ideas together.